So yet again, there's been some more news leaked for Black Ops 6, and I think this is going to be a massive change that everybody is sort of hoping for. It's going to make quality of life improvements. It's just going to make the game and everything else a lot more cleaner and a lot more smoother. But before we get into that, guys, if you are new around, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications to not miss any more videos on the channel. If you do enjoy it, smash thumbs up and let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. But let's jump straight into it right now. Okay guys, so the stuff we're going to be talking about today is all around the gunsmith in Black Ops 6. The way that creator class is going to work, the things that they're added into the game, the things that are taken out of the game, and things that are just going to make it a lot more seamless. And it's honestly just going to make such a big improvement when it does come to the creator class section. So as we all know, in the moment at Modern Warfare 3, we have got around about 50,000 attachments for every single attachment you want to put on. If you want to try and find an optic, you're going to be sat there scrolling for about 4 hours. You want to try and find an underbarrel, you're going to be sat there scrolling for ages. There's just so many attachments that it actually makes it hard to find what's the best attachment to put on each gun. That's why a lot of people resort to these loadout videos. And it just, honestly, there's so many options, you just don't know what to put on each gun. It's not like the old Call of Duties when you would unlock attachments simply for that one gun. So you'd have like an MSMC in Black Ops, for example. You would have attachments and they were only for that gun, whereas now they've got attachments that are available across all different guns. You could get an assault rifle suppressor or muzzle, and you can then put that on all the LMGs, all the battle rifles, sniper rifles. You can put it on every single gun, and it honestly just makes it so complicated. However, in Black Ops 6, they are still going to have shared optics. So when you go into the optics, you are still going to have optics from other weapons, which could be a good thing and could be a bad thing. And where I think this could be a good thing is obviously on the camo grind challenge. There's probably going to be challenges like long shots. This would allow you to put the bigger optics, like the 5, 6, 7 times optics onto something like an assault rifle, maybe an LMG, just making those long shots a little bit easier to get. But the other times where I don't know how it's going to work is like red dots for a sniper rifle. But again, that could be fun for you guys that like to quick scope and not use the big sniper optics. So I don't think sharing optics is overall the worst thing in the world, because even with Modern Warfare 3 now, a lot of the optics in the game are used across all guns. Like they just bring out some good optics that are very clean, very accurate, very good to use, and then you can allow yourself to put them on any gun that you want to put them on, which I think is actually quite a good addition. But outside of optics, no other attachments are going to be shared. So you won't have the same muzzles across guns, you won't have the same AR barrels, you won't have the same stocks, anything like that. It's all just going to be related to the gun other than the optics. So let's say, for example, you've used an SMG, you want like a really nice underbarrel, and you think this is a really good underbarrel. It takes off a lot of recoil, it makes the gun super accurate. You can't then go and put that on another weapon like you can in Modern Warfare 3. It's going to be specifically for that one weapon that you do unlock it on, which in my opinion is a big W. I think that is how it should be. It makes it so much easier. You know it, you can build a class, you can build a good class and not get lost in the amount of attachments there are, because I know of course you can go to YouTube and even I can make some good loadout videos because I can come up with a good class. But for the casual player who's only putting a couple of hours in a day or even a couple of hours a week, you don't want to sit there scrolling through all these attachments, going through the pros and the cons of it, working out what it does well, working out what it does badly, and you just don't want to do that. You want to be able to go, right, I've got 5 underbarrels, which one gives me the best ADS speed? I'll put that one on. Or which one gives me the best recoil control? I'll chuck that one on. And that's just going to make it so much easier, and honestly I just think that's how the Call of Duty attachments should work in any way. The only area that I can see this being slightly different for is, let's say for example we have a gun that is an assault rifle and then it has a variant of being an LMG or something along those lines. Kind of how like in Modern Warfare 2 there was the TAC 56 and then there was the TAC Eradicator LMG and things like that. Some of those attachments might still cross over because it allows you to build the gun slightly similarly and it's the same weapon body. However, it's just not going to be a case of, let's say for example you've got a TAC, you're not going to be able to go and put TAC attachments on an XM4 and an M4, whatever they want to call it in the next game. So it's not going to work across different body types of guns. However, if there are a couple of guns that they make into an LMG and an assault rifle, for example, on the same weapon body, some of those attachments may cross over, but that might be the only instance that we actually see that in, of course, other than the optics. And then, of course, we have got 5 attachments per weapon. So you can have an optic, a muzzle, an underbarrel, a magazine, and a stock, for example. We've got 5 attachments. However, if you equip the wild card that is coming in Black Ops 6, you can have up to 8 attachments, which is going to make a big difference how guns play. I'll be very interested to see how they do work with the wild card, if it's going to make the guns ridiculously overpowered, and if that's just what everybody's going to use, or if there's going to be some cons to having that wild card. Maybe you don't get certain perks, or you don't get lethals and tacticals, or something like that, where, you know, there is an actual disadvantage of having the 8 attachments. Okay, your weapon's better because you've got 8 attachments, but outside of your weapon, the actual gameplay and your perks and everything else is going to be a bit more downhill for you. Whereas if you choose to run 5 attachments, you can get a lot more added bonuses outside of the weapon. So I'll still be interested to see how that does play out. I'm assuming that is something how it will work along that sort of way. And then also, guys, firing range is returning, which again I think is just a great addition into the game. The fact that you can test your guns out before you do jump into a game. I think all FPS games really do have that now. Before you go into any game, you can get a feel of the gun, how it plays, if it's got a lot of recoil, if it's got the best attachments. You know, you can sort of get a feel for the gun before you actually go ahead and jump into a game and waste your time. After you get into a game, you go, oh, this class isn't very good, back out of a game, redo the class, re-queue into another game, and it just takes so much time. So the firing range, in my opinion, is always a big W. I think it just shouldn't go anywhere. It should just always be a thing in FPS games, especially Call of Duty, in my opinion. So one other thing they've actually added in as well, guys, is you can now have 3 weapons. Now, rather than just a primary and a secondary, you can actually also have a melee weapon now, which in my opinion is just a really good addition. I think it's good for the camo grind. It makes the game a little bit easier, and simply the fact that you can just have a melee as well as a pistol and a sniper rifle or an AR or an SMG, whatever you want to run. I think that's a great addition into the game. I don't think this is something that was necessarily needed or anyone was actually screaming for to be added to the game, but I do think, again, it's another little quality of life update. You can pull out your melee if you want to use it. Let's say you get really close to someone, rather than trying to have to hit them with your gun 2 times, you can just hopefully pull out your melee, get that kill there, and it's just going to be a one-shot kill, so it might be a little bit easier. So it will be interesting to see how that does play out, but I genuinely think that's actually a really nice addition into the game. So, of course, you would expect you've got a lethal, a tactical, and a field upgrade. So, something like a thrower knife, a stim, and a trophy system, for example. And they have made it a little bit more simple with the perks as well. You get 3 perks. However, you can actually get extra bonuses by putting 3 perks in the same category on. So let's say, for example, you put 3 support perks on, for example, or 3 perks that are going to take you off the radar, make you have like Ghost, Ninja, and Dead Silence or something, if that's a perk. You'll then get an extra added bonus to your basically stealthiness and your approach to the game, where you can stay under the radar a lot more. You can play a lot more under the radar. Just no one's really going to know where you are. So I think that's a good addition. Obviously, it's not just going to work for being off the radar. It's going to work for support perks. It's going to work for lethal perks, running a gun in perks. Whatever it is that you guys want to have, then it is going to give you an extra bonus if you pick 3 from the same slot, or you can just pick any other 3 that you're going into your perks. They're the 3 perks you're going to run, and it's just a lot more simplified than we've got at the moment. And then, as I mentioned before, we are getting the return of wildcards. I did briefly touch on this, but wildcards are coming back. And essentially what wildcards are, you can get a selection. Let's say there's 6 or 7 different wildcards in the game. You can pick one of those, and this is just going to give you an extra little bonus to your character or your in-game play or something along those lines. Like I said, we are getting one that is going to take you from 5 attachments to 8 attachments. So that's going to be an example of a wildcard. You can get some other ones. You might get one, let's say, for example, called the Runner and Gunner. It gives you slightly faster movement speed and, you know, longer tack sprints, for example. It might give you something along those lines. But wildcards are just a little extra bonus in case you guys didn't know what wildcards are. They're just going to make your gameplay a little bit more special in one certain area. Wildcards, however, could also be something like Overkill. They might take it from a perk and put it as a wildcard. So if you equip the wildcard, you could then have 2 primary weapons as well as your melee weapon in that slot as well. But so far, guys, these are about all the little things we do know about the creator class system, how it's going to work, the wildcards, all of that fun stuff, without actually getting in depth on all the weapons, you know, all of that sort of stuff, because I believe there is that leaked as well. And if you'd like to see me make a video on all the weapons that have been leaked and, you know, we can actually see and have been showcased so far, do let me know in the comments below. I will go and put that together. I'll try and find every single weapon we know about in Black Ops 6, put that together for you guys if it's something that you'll be interested in. If you have enjoyed today's video, guys, please be sure to smash the thumbs up, as it helps me out way more than you can imagine. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, notifications turn on, please go ahead and do that right now. And let me know your thoughts on all this Black Ops 6 creator class stuff in the comments below. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next one in a bit. Peace.